got picks, we got picks, we got picks for you. If we hit on all of them, you can say woohoo! Merry Christmas! We are back. It is Christmas Eve, and it is loaded with football.
Yes, sir.
As well as Christmas Day. 3 games on Christmas Day this year. How much was there any games on Christmas Day last year? I think there was one.
There might have been.
Because Christmas was
maybe
Sunday last
Christmas night. Maybe I think that was Raiders Steelers last year on Christmas. Yeah.
I vividly remember. It might have been 2 years ago. I vividly remember Green Bay versus the Dolphins.
That was last year.
That was last year? Okay. I vividly remember that.
Yeah, that was last year.
Oh, I think Green Bay won that game. I could be wrong.
They did.
Yeah. Somehow. I think we picked the Dolphins. Or I might have picked one of us picked the one way or the other. Anyway, we're back. It is Christmas time officially. I know we've been rocking the hats, but it is officially Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all of you folks out there. It is week 16 in the NFL. A lot going down, you know. Teams potentially clinching divisions, clinching playoff spots. Plenty of teams in both conferences in the hunt. But first of all, let's talk about last week.
Let's do it, man. What a week it was.
Mm-hmm.
4-1 for both of us. We had some different winners, and ultimately, we ended up with the same record. Seems like it's been like that for a while now. We just we've had the same record.
It really is.
But both 4-1. I'm now 43, 33, and 4 overall. Justin back over 500. He's 37, 36, and 4 overall. Let's talk about game 1, Lions-Broncos. You were on the Broncos plus 4.5. I kind of blindly picked the Lions minus 4.5, and boy, did they show out.
They really did. I was impressed. By the way, that was funny. That was our first game watching together all season.
Yeah.
Ironically, it just happened that way. But man, you know, I can't be mad at that. When my one loss is unfortunately picking against the Lions, but they play like that at home against Denver in a game they really needed to like step up their game after the way they've been playing against Green Bay,
that's what we've been saying.
Chicago, and you know, we were like, they're due, but will they make it happen?
Yeah, and that was the key thing is we've been begging this team to step up, to rise to the occasion, right? You haven't played good football in what feels like forever. Can you put together a win? And not just a win, but a win where you look impressive. And that's what they did. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't by the skin of their teeth. It wasn't a 12-point comeback with under 4 to go. It was, from the start, a dominant performance. And that is hopefully the form they keep going into the postseason. Game 2, we were on the Saints. And what do? They basically shut out Tommy DeVito. He actually got hurt, knocked out of the game. They shut him out, essentially. They only gave up 6 points. Dominant win for the Saints.
Who's their backup to DeVito?
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know if he was still healthy or available. Cause
he's back.
He seems he always gets knocked out of every team he plays for.
I know. But we were on them minus 5.5. I love that spot. You know, everyone was all over, you know, Tommy Cutlets, but
his agent.
That's when you bet against him, right? And we picked that spot. That's just really good betting by us. You know, props to you and me. Game 3. This is one that I regret now, but I don't regret the pick when I made it. Cardinals-Niners.
It was there, though.
Kyler made too many mistakes. I think that defense was just a little too much. And you can kind of tell the Cardinals are just teetering a little bit. I'm just kind of like, season's winding down. We don't have much to play for.
Should we try to get a pick higher just because, you know?
You could just see it. Like, the Niners wanted to be out there, and the Cardinals kind of didn't want to be out there as much. That's what it felt like to me. Just the energy and the vibes I was seeing on the field. I would have loved to have seen more from Kyler and this Cardinals team, especially on the offensive side. But they're going to have a top 3 pick. Probably going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., and they should be a lot of fun next year. But good pick by you, Niners minus 12.5. They got it done. Game of the week, arguably, at least, maybe not game of the week, but how about result of the week?
Absolutely.
Bills over the Cowboys. A dominant performance from the Bills. And this Cowboys team, I'll tell you what, man, they go on the road, they are not the same team. And when they're at home, They're cozy, they're comfy, they kick their feet up, and they have fun. But when they go on the road, it is scary hours.
All bets are off.
And the Bills, look, they were on the edge, right? One more loss, and they would have been out of there. But you beat the Chiefs, you beat the Cowboys. You're now back in the mix. The division's not out of the picture yet, but they're setting themselves up for at least a wild card push now.
Absolutely.
And that is impressive considering everyone kind of wrote them off. I myself kind of was like, I think the Bills are done. They're here, and they're going to stay here. They are my dark horse right now to not only get to the Super Bowl, but to win it potentially. They're playing that well. And then game of the week, I think, Eagles, Seahawks. Drew Lock with the game winner to JSN.
Crazy.
What a finish that was.
What are they officially, 8-0, or is it higher than that? 13-0 against the Eagles?
I think it's 15-0, maybe 16-0.
That's crazy, man.
Since like 2008 or something.
Put that backpack on.
That was so sweet. That was so sweet. What a performance by Drew Lock, especially in the late fourth quarter. But I'll tell you what, this Eagles team seems fragile. They are not the same team as they were last year.
Making mistakes.
And yeah, Jalen Hurts is kind of doing what he did 2 years ago. It's not the same process. It's not the same, it's not the same vibe. It's not the same feeling out there. He looks a little rusty almost. Like he's unsure of what to do and his legs aren't working the same. It doesn't look right.
I mean, the big discussion is, how big, obviously it's definitely a big factor, but like how truly effective was it losing both their offensive and defensive coordinators in the same offseason?
Yeah. No one's really talking about it. I mean, Jonathan Gannon in Arizona and then Shane Steichen, who has the Colts in a playoff spot right now. I mean, those are the two coordinators that I think led the Eagles to the Super Bowl. And now it's just not the same. You bring in Matt Patricia. You kind of like replace your DC midseason. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, and then Brian Johnson, the OC, doesn't seem like him and Hurts are on the same page or were on as good of a level as him and Steichen were. So it's really tough if you're an Eagles fan to see this getting better and being optimistic about your chances in the postseason, because right now you're looking at a team that, while they have a good offense and defensive line, it just feels like if they're not getting to the quarterback on defense and creating turnovers and creating havoc, that secondary is getting burnt. Those linebackers are getting burnt, and they can't really cover anyone. And then you're asking Jalen Hurts to play catch-up, and that's not really his game. And they're not running the ball the same way.
And that Philly secondary
it's just a weird team.
And that Philly secondary is not what it was a couple years ago.
No.
And especially, like you said, if the linebacker's getting burned, I don't think he got much help after that point.
And I think they're missing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, he just brought that tenacity, brought that edge. He embraced the city of Philadelphia, and then they let him go.
And they're keeping Slay and Bradbury, and they're just falling off.
Old dysfunctional secondary with a DC that in Matt Patricia that, quite frankly, I mean, we saw what he did in Detroit. It's not good. But that was Week 15. It's now the Christmas special. Officially, we got the Christmas sweaters on. Justin's rocking Elf, of course, son of a nutcracker. I'm rocking Joe Cool, little Snoopy action, little Peanuts.
This will be me if I don't have good picks this week.
Well, that could be you. But let's get it underway. That was Week 15, but we're on to Week 16.
And with Game 1, we head into it all. Here we go, Game 1. Very interesting on the slate here. We got the Commanders heading to New York. The Jets favored at home by 3. Zach Wilson back in protocol. Trevor Siemian to start. I mean, you talk about two teams that just, you look at them and you're like, what happened all year long? Just a mess. Highlight moments at times, and then he just goes down and down and down. And it's just devastation on both sides, and you don't know who's going to have the least amount of worry.
It's crazy. I mean, we have, I'm not kidding, the 32nd ranked defense taking on the 32nd ranked offense. The Commanders can't cover anyone, and the Jets can't move the football. So it's really worst on worst, which makes this game exciting and fun to watch in a way. Like you're just watching bad football, but it might be entertaining.
So the difference would be, can Sam Howell overtake that pretty decent Jets defense?
My concern is that Sam Howell, guy gets sacked a ton, right? And this Jets team, they can create pressure. And this Commanders offensive line, it's not that great. It's not that special. So really, what am I going to get out of Sam Howell? And Antonio Gibson, he's going to be the starter again. No Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson has had a great year, and he's kind of that hammer for them. Without him, I just don't see them running the football as much. They can't really lean on that. And they've been sliding big time. I mean, this Commanders team have not been the same. I think there's a reason why the Jets are favored in this one, even with Trevor Siemian. And I'm kind of going to go with it. Like, I don't really know what it is, but it's not like one team is getting a ton of love from the public. You know, it's 51-49 right now. So it's neck and neck.
Yeah.
But when one team in the Jets, who's looked terrible all season long, they can't really get anything going, when they're favored by 3 in a game at home, I think they send their fans home happy on Christmas Eve. I'm going to take the Jets -3. It just feels like a good spot for them here, going up against a team in Washington that, to me, everything's fallen off the tracks, and I do not expect Ron Rivera to be the head coach for much longer.
Yeah, it's tough scenes in Washington. You know, you bring in Eric Bieniemy. You think, you know, you kind of find a decent, pretty good guy in Sam Howell. I like Sam Howell. I don't know how well things are going to keep going for him, but he's probably the best they've had in a minute, honestly. But they just don't have enough for him to work with, and if he has no protection, he can't do anything. But, you know, you thought Bieniemy would come in and maybe change up things, and he had a lot to prove. And, you know, you dump off Sweat, you dump off Young, right, in the middle of the season. I mean, what do you expect? If your secondary is already bad and you only can trust your D-line, and then you dump away your D-line, except for what, Jonathan Allen, you know, where do you go from there? So I'm kind of on board with you in this one. I really like Sam Howell. I know he could do it, but no one's helping him. The Jets the defense is just able to do things that, you know, are helpful, right? And just the right things at the right time, and they can control some of the game for them. So as long as Siemian could just make okay plays and just be smarter on the ball, you know, nothing crazy, I think the Jets can win this. So unfortunately, I'm on the Jets with you. Yeah. Unfortunately.
No.
You know how we felt last time? That UGLY came out crazy with that Hail Mary and all kinds of stuff. But the Commanders have given, you know, all season. You know, I believed in them early on, and they just kept blowing me off and blowing me off. Oh, when they lost to the Eagles in that overtime game, I mean, they put up crazy points, right? And then you thought maybe there's something here, but been down since then. So I guess go Jets this Christmas.
JETS, Jets.
Ugh, no. All right, game 2. We got the boys head to Minnesota. Lions
on the line.
Yes. Lions head to Minnesota. Lions favor on the road by 3. You know how the road goes. It can be dangerous. Especially with all that's riding, you know, potential true clinch. A true clinch of the division for the first time in 30 years.
First time ever, really?
First time ever?
They've never won the NFC North.
Really? Then what's the whole 30-year thing?
That's a playoff win. And then they won like the Central.
Interesting.
I believe, but it's not the North. No. So
anyway, it's been 30 years since something.
They have not won the NFC North.
Well, you can finally clinch that with this win, but also this helps you trying to push for, you know, a higher seed. You know, that could change everything, especially the way things are going right now. You know, with potentially Seattle creeping back in, the Rams are right there, you know, Minnesota's still right there, but this is the true knockdown punch for the division. And, you know, you got to hopefully believe the guys on the road. You know, you got to believe in them. CD Deuce is supposed to be back, supposedly.
Not this week. Not this.
I was gonna say I don't know if there's no confirmations yet, but
it seems like they're gonna hold him out one more week, get him another week of practice, and
so
then
we can be ready for Dallas. Yeah, that's the time you need him. But I mean, a lot's up in the air in this game, you know.
It's a weird game.
It is because you can't trust a division opponent, right, on the road. And, you know, even with all the quarterback, you know, we thought, oh, gosh, they're going to be really concerning, especially when the way Josh Dobbs was playing when he came in. And then now they keep rotating. Nick Mullins has been all right. You know, do they go to Jarrett Hall at some point? You know, I don't know.
Well, they kind of blew it last week against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Vikings defense that is not afraid to blitz. I mean, they Under Brian Flores, they are maniacs when it comes to blitzing. So that is a bit of a concern if you're Jared Goff. Doesn't like to get the pressure in his face. However, this offensive line is going to be healthy.
With Ragnow, man.
They're all going to be present, and I expect them to counter the blitzing by running the football a little bit more. Right? This Vikings defense, they don't really give up a ton on the ground, but if you're going to put a ton of blitzers and a ton of pressure on Goff, there's two ways to combat it: quick throws, or just hand the ball off and find the way.
And they love those pitch out to Gibbs, and if he hits the open space, we know what he can do.
Exactly. So I love what the potential is for this Lions offense if they can protect Goff in this one. They just had to hold up long enough. I'm not sure if, like, I know you can say, oh, take a deep shot here and there, but I'm not sure if that's always the strategy.
I don't think so in this one. I
don't
really
think
don't.
so. I think you're going to have to grind this one out a little bit. But the thing I love about it being Nick Mullins and not Josh Dobbs is that we've seen Josh Dobbs extend plays, get outside the pocket, and that's been a concern for Lions defenses. But Nick Mullins, you don't have to worry about that with him. So I think this is a great spot for the Lions defense to take advantage of a less mobile QB in Nick Mullins. And if the offensive line can hold up, keep Goff on his feet, and counteract the blitz by giving it to Monty, giving it to Gibbs, or just swinging it out wide to an Amon-Ra or
JMO or
Khalif or something.
Yeah.
Something where we can get the guys the ball and they can make moves, and we're not really worrying about Goff standing up in the pocket, patting the ball a couple times, taking, a 5-step drop back. Let's make sure we're putting Goff in a position where he doesn't have to feel the pressure. And let's just get out of here with the win. I don't care if it's by 1, 2, 3, 10, 15. I don't care. Let's wrap up the division. Let's come up with the T-shirts. Let's get it done, boys. I'm taking the Lions -3. They win the NFC North on Christmas Eve, and they right the wrong of last year when they lost to the Panthers on Christmas Eve and broke everyone's hearts. They get it done this year. So give me the Lions -3.
What a game that was. What a game that was. You were calling it. You were calling it all day long. And we wanted to ride with the Lions and have faith because we were riding them. They were riding week on week on week on week because they were in that streak and it was due and it happened. But yeah, man, I agree. If we, like I said last week, I think I said this last week and they continued it this week and they actually did it. But like, you have some guys were injured, but when you have good players, you play them. You don't put them on the bench. You don't do that. You don't sit Montgomery play him for 5 plays and bench him for the rest of the game. I get the focus is on Gibbs, but like you said, look how well it worked out. The flipping back and forth so well. Like a clean slate. They played really well. Guys got the right touches at the right times. I mean,
it's a great job by Ben Johnson.
It was. He knew he had to fix some things, especially the way he's coming out this week with everything, his future and everything. But no, I'm on the Lions with you this week, man. Like I said they had to give me a reason, right? They hadn't given me a reason until like recent, and then I tripped on them with the Broncos, and gotta be back on them. Gotta believe that Dan Campbell is gonna have these guys fired up to be like, now is the time.
Yeah,
we're not gonna try to mess around like last year. Let it be put in other people's hands. Get it now, exactly. Seize the moment. One moment.
And shout out JMO too. Last week, stellar performance. And I know the stats. If you look at the box score, it's not the prettiest performance, but I mean the catches he was making and the opportunities that he had that weren't connected on because Goff couldn't hit him. I mean, JMO, I think we're starting to see a star in the making. It's taken a little bit more time than people wanted. You got to be a little bit more patient sometimes with some guys, but you're starting to see it. And I think going forward, closing out the division and then heading into the postseason, I think he's going to make an even bigger name for himself. It's starting to click at the right time for him, and that only means more for this offense. So if this offensive line stays healthy and they give Goff 60 minutes, they're gonna do some damage. It's just they go as Goff goes and they go as this O-line goes. So that's really the key for this offense is making sure that he's upright and that offensive line is healthy.
Absolutely. We're riding the Lions this week, man. We're riding the Lions. Got to. It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we got to.
1 o'clock kickoff, and you can enjoy the game. It shouldn't mess up too much of your day. I guess it depends on where you're at today. But onward to game 3.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's ride. Not like the Broncos. Very interesting game here. We got nice little Florida battle, not too far. Jacksonville heads down to Tampa. Buccaneers favored at home by 1.5. Baker and these boys have been secretly playing very, very well.
They have been. And you know what? I do not love what I've seen from the Jags.
Mhm.
And it's concerning. And here's the thing. Trevor Lawrence cleared concussion protocol. And this number is still favoring Tampa Bay. So that only leaves you with one thing really left to ponder. And it's like, all right. Which team am I getting? Am I getting the Jaguars team that looked really good a few weeks ago when they were taking on the likes of, I'm forgetting the team name, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get the picture.
Oh, the one that was crawling back against Cleveland?
Yeah, the one that was crawling back against Cleveland. Or how about the one that was crawling back against Cincinnati? Jake Browning. Like, this is a Jags team that's kind of fluttering a little bit, and they need this game badly, but so do the Bucs. I mean, they're in a division race as well. And when I'm looking at both of these teams, I'm thinking to myself, look, the winner of this game is probably going to the postseason. And that, to me, is big time. Like, it's which team is going to show up. I can't believe I'm doing it, but I'm going with the Bucs. I'm going with the Bucs to upset the Jags. Not a Vegas upset, but I think in the minds of the people, I think Baker gets it done at home. This defense is playing well. They've been running the ball really nicely with Rachaad White. And Baker is just letting it loose, all right? And they believe in him. They trust him. This is Baker's time. I'm taking the Bucs minus 1.5. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Interesting. There's a lot going on in Tampa, man. The boys are playing well. Baker's just feeling it out, man. He's leading this team pretty well. I think we even didn't believe, we thought they'd be last in the NFC South when we started the start of the season, and they're potentially going to win this thing.
Yeah,
out of nowhere. You know, you think about guys who were leaving. You know, post Tom Brady era, all these issues. You know, is what's his name? Who's their head coach? Dang, who's their head coach? I know Byron Leftwich was there, or he was their OC. Who's their head coach?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I know he's had his rough times post all that Bruce Arians issues and all that.
Yeah.
But you think Doug Peterson really turned these Jags around when he came there because they needed a stable head coach. And Trevor Lawrence has been great. He's been that guy. They had that great run last year after we thought they were dead, you know, and they almost beat Kansas City at Arrowhead. And this season's been weird. Trevor Lawrence having his slight injuries, but he's overcome them. It's not the same Jags team at times, you know. But you can also say, you know, Tampa's not all that either. So I do respect the Bake Show, man. But Trevor Lawrence is quite the X factor. He can do a lot of things. He can get it done. But I'm going Bucs.
Oh, this guy.
Got a bait here. I believe in Baker. He's playing great ball. He knows what he's doing. He's playing his cards right. He's trying to just be a leader, and he's trying to march this team down the field to a clean victory. He's not trying to do too much. He's not crazy. He passes the ball to Mike Evans whenever he can. Godwin, you know, you got Rachaad White, right? No. Gosh. Messed that up big time. Who's in the backfield? Goodness.
Rachaad White.
Was it Rachaad White? Why does that name not sound right?
And Tampa Bay, it's Rachaad White.
Forgive me. I got energy drinks in me. But I don't know. I think the Bucs can do it, especially at home. I don't know. The Jags are sliding, and it's not a good thing. You know, there was a lot of question with that Trevor Lawrence ankle injury, you know, a week or two ago. You know, how did he just have that injury to be dragged off the field, right? And then and Monday or Tuesday at practice, he's just chilling, right? Chilling, vibing, looks like nothing happened to his ankle. It's like, what is going on? I don't know if he's just that tough or these guys are just being, you know, injected with some kind of instant healer or whatever, but I don't know, man.
I know what you mean.
But like I did once with you before, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Game 4. The Cowboys head to Miami. Dolphins favored by 2 at home? What?
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I don't know why you're shocked. Are you shocked?
No, it's just a weird number to me. I feel like I've never seen us have -2. Is it just me? I'm used to 2.5. I'm used to
I think
1.5.
you're on one right now. I think you're on one.
It's the blue.
Anyway, look, man. You got one team that can't win on the road. And you got another team that can't beat the good teams. So what gives, right?
Somebody's
got to give.
Is Tyreek going to be back?
Tyreek should be playing. I'm not concerned about that. But when I look at this game and when I look at this spread, it screams Dolphins to me. It does. Last week the Bills were favored by 1.5, and what do the Bills do? They blow out the Cowboys. This week the Dolphins are favored by -2. What do I think is going to happen? I don't know about a blowout, but
maybe a field goal win.
I'm thinking maybe the Dolphins do it. But here's the thing.
Talk to me.
While I know the Cowboys have struggled, something tells me that despite all those struggles and while this spread is screaming Dolphins, I just don't really buy into the Fins. And I feel like when the rubber meets the road, this team just kind of flops. And I know it's set up nicely for them to win it and to look nice, but I'm taking the Cowboys on the road to cover the 2. I think they just find a way, and I'm not that concerned about
the road issues.
I'm not that concerned about the road issues in Miami. I feel like you play a little bit more comfortably there. They're not like a cold team going to Miami. I mean, they're playing in Dallas.
Yeah, it's not like Buffalo in a snowstorm.
Yeah, like
or Cleveland.
Like when New England goes down to in December to Miami every year, it's like, well, we know that's a loss.
Yeah,
it's just one of those games. I don't get the same vibe here. I'm going with Dallas +2.
I'll be real with you. Mike McDaniel is a really good coach. He knows what he's doing. But there's just so many like little issues with the Dolphins that I can never understand. Like, I get Tyreek Hill is who he is. Waddle and him are the same person. So how do you like? I get their speed, right? I feel like you need a diversity in like offensive weapons, because speed's not just gonna carry you at the end of the day. Tua is not the guy to me. He'll never be the guy. I don't think he's gonna win anything in Miami. But Mike McDaniel is a good coach, and he believes in the guys. And their defense is always up and down, But it was good to have Jalen Ramsey back. He does make a difference, But like you said, the big key for the Dolphins is why can't they beat the good teams?
It's something's going on there.
They look like they're all that. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, they dropped 70 against the Broncos. Okay, the Broncos were trash at that point, and they bounced back. But you still can't declare that as, hey, we beat a good team.
I know.
But the Cowboys, man, the Cowboys on the road, like we said before, we talked about it earlier, we just talked about it again. What is it about the road? You talk about comfort, also cold environments for some of these guys.
Yep.
That's why we did hop on the Bills, and the Bills showed out. But would this game be different if it was in Dallas? Would it be different here? Would it be there? Dallas may not be the true road warriors, but they are the better team in this. I get Miami's favored by 2 at home, and I think it's solely because they're at home, and Dallas is coming off a loss. I don't think it's anything more complicated than that. I think it's a close one, like you said. I don't believe in the Dolphins. I don't, and I won't. I don't believe in the Cowboys either, truly, but I think the Cowboys win a close one. I'm out with you again on this one.
Just copying all my picks.
I am. I am. I'd go against you if I didn't believe it.
No, I'm playing. No,
like
I
think
week, we're on the right side of it. Honestly, I was close to taking the Fins, but I'm feeling the Cowboys win.
I wasn't feeling the Fins at all. Honestly, I wasn't, because I get it's on the road for Dallas, but I can't believe in the Dolphins. Tua somehow getting bombs off, right, is not going to change everything. And I get Raheem Mostert's had like a incredible season. Like, can't take that away.
Renaissance for the 31-year-old.
Can't take that away from him. He just got one more touchdown, which he pretty much, in the comparison, he scored 20 this season. Before this year, he's put 19 up in his entire career.
He just had one of those years.
He had one of those years like Jamal did last year.
Yeah.
But how quickly things fall. Luckily, they do have A-Chain for next year, but it's Cowboys time. Maybe not a lot, but I think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to be upset about that, unfortunate. All that hype, after beating the Eagles and you're feeling all that. I know they need another reality check from Buffalo after, obviously they had that Niners game in the past, but I don't know. I think Dak's going to get it done. Maybe not all that. He'll probably throw an interception at some point. But just believe that the Cowboys will get it done on Christmas Eve. Plain and simple.
I love it. I love it. Game 5. We're on the boys.
The big one. Potential Super Bowl matchup on the night of Christmas Day. Ravens head to the Bay. Niners favored at home by 6. And boy, are those Ravens mad because they feel like they should be favored and they feel disrespected. What are your thoughts on that? Players came out and said, we feel we're disrespected, that we're not favored in this game.
That's cute. I'm glad you feel that way. But the fact of the matter is, the Niners are going to blow the Ravens out. The spread is -6 for a reason. Don't get cute. Don't get caught up in the lights here. The Ravens, you can give me the Lamar as an underdog.
We know how it goes.
I'm not picking the Ravens here. They're begging you to take Baltimore. They're begging you. That's why this number is so big. Yeah, please take Baltimore. I'm not doing it. All right. I'm taking the Niners -6. And let's just move on with our lives. All right. Can the Niners please end the Ravens for me? Please end them. Win by 40. I'm done.
Yeah, because what do you say? What do you say if the Niners beat them down that bad?
Then they're frauds. Or the Ravens, just had a bad day. You could say either of those things. Or
the Niners should just be given the Super Bowl.
At this point, just give it to the Niners.
Yeah, when they beat down Dallas, beat down Philly, and beat down the Ravens, who's next?
They're playing at a different level right now. Their form is incredible, and I think they get it done big. And they're at home. And it's Christmas Day.
I know. What more could you ask for? They're not going to be playing in the cold. It's going to be chill vibes in the Bay. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be healthy. They're ready to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's stopping them, And then you got the changeup now. You think Melvin Gordon's going to make the difference in this one now that he's called up because of Mitchell being out now?
No chance. No chance.
No run game. As long as they can contain Lamar, I mean, that secondary is crazy. Linebacker Fred Warner's going to be headhunting Lamar.
And I mean, what did they do to Jalen Hurts? Another mobile QB.
Exactly. And Lamar's just easier to snap.
Niners all day.
I have no words for this game. If you think I was taking the Ravens at any point, even if it was Ravens -15, 20, it'd be impossible for me to take the Ravens. You could give me $1,000 to pick the Ravens, and I wouldn't.
Give you $1,000 free, but you gotta take Baltimore. You say no?
Yeah.
All right.
That's just how much I don't believe in the Ravens.
Yeah. No,
They are public enemy number 1.
They are.
Public enemy number 1.
You're right.
Personal public enemy still number 1, but public enemy number 2 will always be Cleveland.
You're right.
I don't hate on Cleveland, but dang, man. We can't trust the AFC North, man. Just sketchy zone.
I agree.
Joe Flacco's coming out of nowhere. Jake Browning's coming out of nowhere. I don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers now. They're just in shambles. Mason Rudolph's going to be starting for them. The thing is, Lamar is in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because of that contract, right now he's in a good spot no matter what, honestly. I know they're expecting more probably, but they're not going to complain about this season at this point. But they'll see what the future holds. I think they're expecting a lot though still. Yeah. But we'll see what happens, but if the Niners are up there, you got to take the Niners. Sorry about last week.
You're good. You're good. All right, let's run it down.
Beautiful Christmas Eve, Christmas Day games. Honestly, it's going to be pretty enjoyable. Christmas is normally the time for basketball. It used to be always the big thing. It was Christmas Day hoops and all that. But I think football's really taken over.
Step aside, NBA. The NFL is king.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Game 1. Commanders head to East Rutherford to take on the Jets. Me and
Jet
Justin are
lag.
on the Jets -3. Just FYI, we're on every single game this week. The same team, the same
all right,
side.
all right.
Game 2, Lions with a chance to win the NFC North for the first time ever.
Woo!
They get the Vikings. Me and Justin on the Detroit Lions -3.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3. Jags head to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. Baker's boys, we're riding with them -1.5. Go Bucks. Game 4. Cowboys, Miami. What's going to happen in this one? Something's got to give. We're on the Cowboys +2. You can take that Dolphins -2 and send it into the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean, Pacific. I'm on the wrong coast.
To the abyss.
In Game 5.
On the right coast.
Right coast here. Baltimore heads to the Bay. Me and Justin, we're on the Niners -6. And those are your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day picks. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a beautiful time of the year. It's going to be an amazing day of football, family, friends, the whole thing. So, Merry Christmas from me at STJ. Justin, I know you got a little sign off as well here. Maybe a song.
I don't know, man. I was practicing all day for the first one. I had to lock it in my head. But yes, another Merry Christmas from STJ, whole crew, Evan and I. It's been a great season for college and NFL so far. I mean, for us at least. Maybe not football overall at times, but it's been a great season for picks.
Yeah, we're both up on the year.
I know.
If you combine them.
Yeah,
we're both
exactly.
Up. I mean, I know I'm a little down in college, but +10 in the NFL. You're +10, I think, in college. And
so we're having a positive
close
year.
In college, something like that. So we're right there.
It's been a full positive year for the picks altogether. It's going to be fun. We'll have one more before we close out the new year and then get closer to the playoffs.
Yeah,
a lot of things coming. A lot of things can happen this weekend.
We got college football next week.
Yes, college football will be back this upcoming week. Man, there's so much going on. The Saturday night game in Dallas for the Lions. It's gonna be crazy.
Woo.
Chaos. Looking forward to it.
On his birthday too.
Yes. It's gonna be intense. There's gonna be a lot going on.
Man, if we lose.
Oh, I mean, Tyler's gonna be there. Woo.
I want to stay out of his way.
I know.
Stay out of his way.
It'll be more funny if I said you might come if you make it to the finals. You're gonna be coming face to face with maybe Drew or Ben.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be looking you dead in the eyes. Be aware. That's what I told them. Anyways, Merry Christmas from STJ. Have a great one. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.